Okay, welcome to another episode of Let's Pretend That Expensive Camera Gear is going to fix every single one of my problems. No, but seriously, if you're a beginner photographer and you're lost in a sea of these YouTube videos talking about, here's my $12,000 beginner photography setup, this video is for you. So I want to break down the real essentials, the stuff that helps you actually get better and not just look cool in coffee shops. So without further ado, here's what you actually need to start your journey as a photographer. Okay, let's start with the obvious, the camera. You do not need the latest and greatest $4,000 or $5,000 camera body. I personally started with a Canon Rebel T5, basic, entry level, but it taught me every single thing there is to know about photography, for the most part. So when your hunt starts for your first camera, here's what you should be looking for. Number one, it has manual mode. So manual mode is going to force you to actually learn photography, not just hope the camera gets it right. It's going to teach you how to control light, freeze motion, blur backgrounds, all the stuff that makes photos look intentional instead of random. If you're serious about getting better, you want to make sure that you are in full control of your camera and how those photos look, and stop relying on the camera to do it, which would be auto mode. Stay away from that. Number two, you want to be able to change lenses. So being able to change your lenses means that you're actually able to adapt to any environment or subject that you're shooting. Portraits, landscapes, street photography, anything. You're not stuck with just one look. Your camera becomes way more versatile and you'll learn way faster because now you're able to see what different focal lengths offer you and sort of how they change the look of a photo. Number three, it has a hot shoe. So a hot shoe is that little mount that's on the top of your camera. And that's gonna be a game changer down the road. Even if you don't need it today, you're gonna want it later on for things like external flashes, microphones, or even a small monitor on the top of your screen. It just keeps your setup a little bit more flexible and lets you grow without immediately outgrowing your camera, if that makes sense. And finally, number four, it shoots RAW. So RAW files keep all of the data from the photo. That means you have way more flexibility when you're editing, fixing the exposure, pulling back the highlight, recovering details that were lost in the shadows, stuff you just can't do as easily if you're shooting in JPEG mode. If you're serious about improving your photography, including your edits, shooting in RAW is essentially a non-negotiable. So with those four things in mind, now picking your camera and the brand that you go with, that's totally on you. I'm not gonna sell you on one over the other. You can go with whatever you want. Nikon, Fuji, Canon, Sony. You have a crazy amount of options and they all make incredible cameras. Doesn't matter what you go with. I would recommend going with something used or refurbished to see if this is even for you. Save your money and put it where it counts, which leads me to the next part, the lens. So as a beginner, if you're gonna splurge anywhere, make sure you're splurging on your lens. To me personally, glass or your lens is 10 times more important than the camera body. So for most beginners, I recommend a 50mm f1.8, or in other words, a nifty 50. You might have heard that term before. It's fast, it's cheap, and it's insanely good for the price. You know that shallow depth of field that everybody loves, the background blur? You can do that with this lens. Perfect for portraits, details, street photography, and more importantly, it helps you see light and composition better. Now, if you're shooting landscapes and want a bit more versatility in your lens, you can use a kit lens, usually like an 18 to 55mm, but they're not the greatest, and you're probably gonna outgrow it pretty fast. So just do yourself a favor, grab a nifty 50. Prime lenses just, I don't know, teach you more. Okay, next up, we're gonna need a way to edit our photos. I mean, this isn't mandatory. You don't have to edit your photos, but let's be honest, that's 90% of the fun. So it gives you your look, your style, as you develop as a photographer. So you don't need a $5,000 Mac studio. In fact, you don't even need a laptop to edit your photos. You can do it from your phone on Lightroom Mobile. Just import your photos from your camera, start learning how to adjust light, color, contrast, white balance, all that creative stuff that happens after you've actually clicked the shutter button. My best advice to you is to quickly learn how to mask your photos so you can take your photos from this to this. If you want a full tutorial on how I mask my photos, just let me know in the comments. Okay, next up, if you're into product shots, portraits, low light photography, grab a basic tripod and a cheap light. Again, it doesn't have to be anything fancy, just something to help you start learning how to kind of shape light and shoot with a bit more intention. I've literally used $30 lights from Amazon and it's more than enough. Or even better, just find a big window, because natural light is free and 9 times out of 10, it's best. So now if you're shooting outside, your best bet is gonna be golden hour, which is just after sunrise or just before sunset, or on an overcast day. Golden hour just gives you that soft, warm light and makes literally everything in the world look 10 times better. And then overcast days are great because the clouds act as if they're a big softbox over top of the harsh sunlight. So both of these settings are gonna give you that soft, even light, which just makes any photo look 100 times better. Cheap tripod, grab a cheap light, and if you're outside, golden hour, overcast. Next, Okay, now this one might sound boring, but please don't cheap out on your SD cards and your extra batteries. Get a couple name brand 64 gigabyte cards, Lexar, I don't care, whatever brand color you like more. Get one of those and always carry an extra battery. You'll thank yourself later when your camera dies during golden hour. And another thing that I do like to recommend is to actually kind of put a bit of extra coin out to get a good battery. Now, I've owned tons of those third-party batteries and they're just not the same. They die quick, they suck. Let's, for example, say you go with a Canon camera, just buy the exact battery that came with your camera. They're gonna last way longer. You know they're legit, just saves you headaches down the road. A few bucks more, but it makes all the difference. Okay, now finally, you do not need to spend $400 on the most tactical camera bag in the world. Relax. I know all your favorite photographers carry around these insane bags, but they're just not necessary right now. Literally all you need is something padded, or at least something you can keep your camera in without it getting smashed up to bits. Honestly, this sounds insane. Use a lunchbox. I know what you're thinking. What? A lunchbox? Yeah, you don't need to be Dora the Explorer or Bluey. You can buy cool ones. Just get something you can keep your camera in because you're gonna look a lot more ridiculous showing up to a shoot with a smashed lens than if you had a Dora bag. Don't buy a Dora bag. So that's it. That's literally all you need to start your journey as a photographer. Don't get sold on all this crazy expensive stuff. So if you've got questions about what gear to pick, drop them in the comments and I'll do my best to answer them based on the stuff I've used in the past. And if this video helped, make sure you hit the like button so I know to create more beginner content like this. And until next time, happy shooting.